We're looking at part 2 now, the second video of a basic how to play rock and roll progression, and we're looking at the chords. So it's going to sound something like this. Something along those lines. But first of all, let's start with the chords. Let's learn the chords, and maybe have a pen and paper at hand if you need to write something down. And let's get going by focusing on what do my fingers do. Okay, we're looking at the fretting hand. You can see it nice and clearly there. Okay, I'm starting with an A7. Now the A7 chord's a funny chord because you can play it several different ways. The way I'm doing it here, I'm going to show you first. Middle finger is going to go to string 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the second fret. Then your ring finger, this one here, is also going to the second fret but the second string. When you play A7th, you're only playing the bottom 5 strings. So if I'm focusing on my strumming hand, it's going to be from the 5th down. That's what your A7 should sound like. Now I'm going to tackle the rhythm later, but I first want to get to know what the chords sound like, what they look like. And I want to show you one more way to play A7, because I notice that different guitarists have different ways to play this, and they're all quite correct. Okay, you can put finger 1 there, which is going to be string 4, fret 2, middle finger, string 2, fret 2. So you can also play A7th like this, or like that. You can even do that if you really want to. So whichever method you feel comfortable with, try them all, 1, 2, 3, whichever one feels good for you, that's the A7th you're going to play. If you're not sure of the shape, write it down. Okay, but the next chord is D7. Now D7 starts with finger 1 on the second string, first fret, middle finger goes to the second fret, third string from the bottom, 1, 2, 3, and the ring finger goes straight to the bottom, also the second fret. So you can see your D7 nice and clearly there. That's your D7 chord. On the strumming for D7, we're not going to strum 5 strings, we're going to strum 4, and it's from here. That's what my D7 should sound like. We need one more chord, which will be E7. And I'm sure most of you are already familiar with E. You should know E by now. If you're not, I'll help you out shortly. But E7, if you've got a normal E in place, simply lose the ring finger. That's E7. And for those that aren't sure of E, if you want to play E7 the first time, finger 1, fret 1, string 1, 2, 3. Third fret, first fret. Third string, first fret. And then your middle finger goes 5th string. You always count from the bottom. I'm saying it a lot because we mustn't forget that. Second fret, and that's your E7 chord. It's a really nice, easy chord as well. And for E7, we can strum all 6 strings. So one more time, play A7 with me. A7 should sound like this from the 5th string. There's your shape just quickly. Your D7 from the 4th string. And your E7 from the 6th string. Those are your 3 basic chords. Now, I'm assuming that you actually have worked through the first video. The structure was 4 A's, and we were speaking about riffs being this. Remember, there were 2 A's. You mentioned the second one towards the end, but that was a riff in A. Now, if your friend is doing, you can go. And the 2 together would sound really cool. Now, let me show you that strumming pattern. It's super easy. It's simply down, up, 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 down, up. But the trick is the accent. The accent is your louder beat. So we're not counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and because that sounds really dull. You're going to get 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. You can hear that 2 and 4 help us get the rhythm stronger. It establishes the strong beats, and we call those strong beats accents. Okay, one more time with the A7. Don't strum him. 4 bars in a row. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Want to play through with me? I'm going to count you in. A7 again, just quickly if you're not sure. Quick recap on the A7 chord there. And let's do it. Are we ready? I'll take it a little bit slower. Getting my sleeve out the way because sometimes it lies on the strings. And let's do 4 A7s in a row. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Then we change to D7. Just a quick recap on the D7. Remember that? 2 bars of D7. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Simple as that. Back to 2 bars of A. Now the last 4 bars are going to be 1 bar of each chord. So we're going to do 1 E, 1 E7 actually, 1 D7, back to 1 A7 and end with 1 E7. So if we take those last 4 bars, we're going to have this. Got your E7 in place? Let's take it through slowly. 2 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's it. But before we sign off, I want you and I to play the whole way through all 12 bars. Just to recap, 4 A's, 2 D's, 2 A's, and then 1 E, 1 D, 1 A, and 1 E. Are we ready for this? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Third bar, fourth bar. First D7, second D7. First A7, second A7. 1 E7, 1 D7, A7, and your last E7. That's your 12 bars. Now, if you've got a mate to jam with you, it sounds really cool if your friend goes, and you're going, the two will work really, really well together. But if you've got any questions with the strumming, with the chords, with the positioning, anything, you've got my WhatsApp details. Happy to hear from you. Send the questions. Otherwise, have an awesome day. Take care and play loud.